You were a full-time housewife and you're struggling to live, aren't you? What is it all of a sudden? Your husband sends you a message, remember? Can't you reply a little lovingly? That's why you're still unemployed. Ex-husband, it's been 5 years since the divorce. What kind of nerve do you have still thinking I'm unemployed? You didn't have enough skills and you won't be able to work as hard as I did. I worked before I got married. A tourist information center is a simple job that anyone can do. I feel sick by the way you're talking to me from above. And then, your deep thoughts are that you got dumped by a good-looking guy like me. You are still in love with me, aren't you? I know what you're thinking. I don't have any feelings for you at all. That's not cute. I've just brought you a great deal. I've got a bad feeling about this. It's about money. Is that about child support? I told you I don't want it, didn't I? Don't be so stubborn. If you have financial problems, it'd be easier if you were honest about it. You ditched Ken and me. I don't want to accept money from a scumbag who's with a cheating woman. But now, you're in the middle of a very poor life, aren't you? I'm not poor. That's it? That's just uncomfortable. Wait a minute. I have good news for you. I'll remarry you. Excuse me? How can you live with no money and raise a child at the same time? You've been a single mother for 5 years. You know how hard it is. I was wondering what you were gonna say. So I decided to help you in a special way. How's that sound? Are you happy? Not at all. I mean, what happened with the bitch? I thought you said you were gonna marry her. Well, she was so bad, so I dumped her. What? You were so proud that she was a better woman than me. She was younger than you and a cute co-worker. But when I was married to her, she couldn't do the housework and spent money roughly. She was done as a woman. She was 13 years younger than me, right? She's still so young, so you should tolerate her a bit. Women must be able to do housework. Age has nothing to do with it. Well, I'm kind of starting to understand why you demand to remarry me. Do you finally understand your role? In other words, you want a submissive wife who will do all the housework and cooking in silence, am I right? That's right. You're a dick. To be honest, you're ugly. And with a child, it's hopeless to remarry with another man, isn't it? Don't worry, I have no intention of remarrying. The truth is, you're frustrated because men aren't attracted to you, aren't you? Well, I'll remarry you. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll earn the money and you'll take care of the housework and raising the kid. With such good conditions, you're still gonna be tough? You must think I'm some kind of free housekeeper or something. I'm not going to live with someone like you. It ain't free. I'm going to feed you and the kid on my dime. No, thank you. For the past 5 years, we have not had a single problem. Don't be so tough on me. I can imagine you guys living in a shitty apartment and huddled together. Don't get your imagination up. I'll be fine without you. Don't contact me again. Hey, wait a minute. My name is Iris. I'm 34 years old and a single mother. My 10-year-old son, Ken, is very kind to me. He has grown up to be a wonderful child. Although I am divorced, we were happy in the days of peace that we spent together. But we never expected to receive such a stupid call from my ex-husband. My ex-husband, Robin, is 7 years older than me, and we met 11 years ago. At the time, I was working at a tourist information center. He approached me, and that was the beginning. Not long after that, we started dating and got married. I felt his masculinity and his clear tone of voice at the time. But gradually, he began to blame me and our marriage gradually lost love. Then, Robin had an affair with a young coworker. I decided to separate by unilaterally filing divorce documents. But now, 5 years later, I was astonished at the sudden request to get back together with him. Naturally, I had no intention of remarrying, but Robin never gave up and took an outrageous action. I found a signed marriage document in the mailbox. It's finally there. You should fill it out and submit it. How did you get my address? I asked around in your own neighborhood. I can't believe you even did that. The chatty old lady told me the name of the town you moved to. After that, I'd walk around and ask around in that town. Then, I found out where you were. You're so desperate to remarry me, even though I said no. Are you still talking like that? You should just calmly decide which is better for you. There's no benefit to me in getting back together with you. I don't care what you say. I'm getting ready to move out. Moving? Where? Your house. My house? Why are you living in a condo? What? Right when I finally found your house. You've been living a luxurious life without my awareness. Living in a condo. Is that your goal? You're getting support from my parents, right? How could it be? Don't play the fool. When my dad declared me disowned, he said he would support you to the best of his ability. You think that's why I live in a condo? Otherwise, it doesn't make sense at all. You're so stupid. You don't even work hard enough to afford the luxurious life. It's on other people's money. You're a sneaky bitch. Don't get me wrong. I do work, and I do work well. That's a lie. Cowards like you get money not only from my dad. You're also getting a mother and child allowance from the government, aren't you? Don't speculate. I mean, if you got a big gift from my dad, that makes it a dishonest receipt, doesn't it? And what about the taxes on the gift? Do you even know about that? I know that much. So, does that mean you know about it and are hiding it? You're a criminal. Listen to me. There are a lot of things you're wrong about. If you wanted to make excuses, you definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm telling you it's not true. But if you remarry me, it'll solve the problems, right? If you get the money between a parent and a child as living expenses, no taxes, good for you. Give me a break, I don't want to remarry you. Come on, just follow my lead. Why can't you see that it would make you happier? I don't like what I don't like. Oh, by the way, Ken is 10 years old now. What is it all of a sudden? You've never been interested in the kid. He's starting to look a lot like me, isn't he? He's got eyes just like mine. He's so handsome. What are you talking about? He is surrounded by girls. He totally looks like me. Where are you now? At Ken's elementary school. Get away from Ken right now. I'm his father. I can at least look at him from a distance. What are you planning to do? I know where my kid is. You know what that means. Even you can understand it, can't you? What's that? You better not piss me off any more than you already did. For the kid's sake. Okay, I'll remarry. Just leave my kid alone. You finally made up your mind. That's why you're my housekeeper. How could you let this happen? After all, you're the woman and can't live without me. Well, I'll be seeing you from now on. You've got to be kidding me to make me wait for 2 months. We have our reasons. Well, that's okay. From tomorrow, we'll be a husband and wife again. I went along with your selfishness. You'll have to serve me for that, okay? I'm not remarrying you. I won't even live with you. What the hell are you talking about? Don't be silly now. I've already packed my stuff. I'm serious. You bastard! You live in luxury on other people's money. You act all proud of yourself. I'm telling you, I never took any money from your father. I don't even get maternity allowance. Then how do you make a living if you're unemployed? Of course I'm working. I get it. You must have a night job. You've fallen as far as you've fallen, haven't you? My job is a day job. Plus, I make 3 times as much as you do. What? I'm working with the skills I have now. What kind of skills have you gained at a tourist information center? I was in charge of guiding foreigners. I could speak English. You? That doesn't sound like much English. I scored over 900 on the TOEIC exam, so I'm pretty good at English. Huh? What's that? What do you mean? I was a foreign language major in college. I ain't heard that story. I thought I told you I could speak English. How could I remember something like that so long ago? So enough about the past. Now I work for a foreign company. You work for a place like that? Otherwise, there's no way I could live in a condo. That's ridiculous. It can't be. You were unemployed. I mean, sure, I had blanks, but now my current company doesn't care about that kind of thing. It's a good company that values results. Thanks to them, I'm making over 100K a year. That's really 3 times my annual income. I mean, your father told me. You've been in trouble since the divorce, haven't you? Did you call my parents? You said I was getting support from your father. I'm afraid you've been wrong the whole time. No, that's true. My dad said he would support you. Yes, he did ask me about it, but I turned it down. No way. He's offering to help you for free. What kind of nerve to reject such a great offer? I wanted to make Ken happy on my own. And I didn't want to bother your father and the others. That's a different story. You're just being selfish. You're the selfish one. You remarried your affair partner, but you didn't want to work the way you wanted to. I heard the police were involved because of your violence. It wasn't my fault. You even lost the divorce case and had to pay alimony. You didn't learn anything from it? Do you have any idea what I've been through? Even at work, rumors spread and people looked at me with a wide eye. I feel very ashamed. That's what you got. Shut up. If you won't remarry, I'll get another woman. Women are not your convenient tools. I'm telling you, I'm good looking. As long as I have a nice face, it doesn't matter. I'm really put off by you if you're serious about that. Mostly, Ken is just like me. He will grow up to be cool and popular with the girls. It's all thanks to me. Even when we were married, you didn't even take part in raising our kid. What the hell do I have to thank for you? I'm pretty sure the good-looking factor is in my genes. If he had looked like you, he would have been an ugly boy and your kid would have hated you for the rest of his life. Ken has a good personality because he can treat anybody without separation. That's why everyone likes him. You are the only one who thinks that. At the end of the day, it's all about looks. Looks are important. How about you, now that you don't even look good anymore? What are you talking about? I can't believe you've gotten so fat in just 5 years. You're sweating so much grease, and you're so filthy. On what basis? Your father showed me a recent photo of you. He showed me your look has been different now, so there's a chance I won't even notice you. I ain't really changed that much. I feel like you've gained at least 30 pounds by the looks of it, but I've only gained 20 pounds. That's more than enough. Even though I'm fat, I'm still good looking. There's nothing to change the fact that I'm still a handsome man. Female employees complain that you're too big, annoying, and stink. They complain about working with you. But you're still trying to act like you're good looking? Where did you hear about that? I heard from someone in your company. You went that far? Honestly, I was surprised that after 5 years you suddenly asked me to marry. Isn't it suspicious by any means? So, I used a detective agency to do a background check on you. That's too much. I interviewed people at your work. Everyone was telling me all kinds of stuff, like their frustrations were exploding. So, you're pretty much hated by everyone. Every one of them making fun of me. Until now, your sales performance has been okay because of your good looks. Now, they don't want you to look filthy and don't want you to come by a client. I hear they're begging you. No wonder they make fun of you. As a result, sales performance was also at the bottom of the list. No bonuses and your salary has been reduced recently, right? This month was just a little less by chance. Next month it'll be back to normal. You haven't done well in the last few years, not even this month. It's just a coincidence. Admit you're not good enough. The fact that you've been relying only on your appearance and your important internal parts have been in wrecks. Only now is it coming to light. You're cocky if I let you say it. When this happens, I'll go to Ken's school now. What are you still trying to do? You listen to me when I mention your kid. Come on, if you care about your kid, listen to me now. Too bad. Ken didn't go to school today. You let him be absent, then I'll go to your house. I know where you live. I moved out of the house last month. What? Actually, I've been asked if I'd like to be transferred to the US branch for a while. You decided to go overseas without consulting me? It was actually further along in the process, but I talked to the company about you and they moved up the date. What were you thinking? You told me you were getting remarried. At the time, I had no chance but to agree to it. But with the company's help, I was able to get around it. I'm really grateful to the company. So what should I do? You're on your own. I've got an eviction order on my apartment. What did you do? I don't think it's that easy to get an eviction order. I've never done any housework, so I don't know anything about cleaning or taking out the trash. I heard the neighbors complain about a strange smell. I see. It's just as I imagined. And with the alimony payments, I'm struggling to make a living. It's hard to pay the rent. You aren't telling me that you're behind on your rent because of that, are you? I haven't paid it for about 2 years. That's enough to get an eviction order. You told me to wait 2 months. I went to the management company and did something about it. This has nothing to do with me. Could you give me some money, please? Are you still sticking around? This summer's bonus was not good enough for my results. I can't really count on that. Even finding a place to live costs money. That doesn't mean you can rely on me. Think about it. For your beloved and precious Ken to be born into this world, you needed me too, right? Don't tell me you're trying to get money out of me for that. I'm his father. Ken is alive today because of me. Give me money for the appreciation. You're not his father. Have you ever seen a copy of the family register? My name is in the father's column. I'm definitely Ken's generic father. Screw you. You don't even know Ken's birthday, blood type, or anything. There's nothing to be gained by knowing all that. To start with, Ken hates you. I haven't done anything to make him hate me. Don't tell me you're the one who blew a bad thing about me. I didn't even tell him why we got a divorce. Then why? When you approached him, I showed him a picture of you and explained to him that he shouldn't follow this man. He hated the person who abandoned his mom and him. He made it very clear that he didn't even want to follow you. What the hell is that? Now, Ken calls you suspicious. What's the fun in pushing me further? You deserve it. My parents disown me and my coworkers are getting promoted all over the place at work. I see. If I remarry you, I'll get the money from my dad and I'll be able to get by. And I thought I could be safe if you do the housework. Are you done talking about yourself? I don't have time to listen to you complaining. You don't have to say it like that. We were a married couple once, so is there any compassion for me? Not at all. Then you're on your own at best. Goodbye. After that, his parents contacted me about what happened to Robin after the talk with me. He was evicted from his apartment. Having trouble finding a place to live, Robin decided to live in a hostel. But because of this, he only showers once or twice a week. The level of filthiness has also risen considerably. As a result, the company wouldn't have him if he couldn't do his job and look like a mess. The company advised him to resign voluntarily, as if he was fired. He had to quit. He is currently living a life of almost homelessness. When I heard that he had fallen as far as he could fall, I felt truly refreshed. As for me, I am living happily with my son in the United States. I have been teaching English to my son for a long time. He made friends right away. He seems to be enjoying going to school. I think this time it was also due to my lack of discernment in looking at men. There's no point in regretting. So, from now on, I will only think about the happiness with my son. I will try to look forward.
Mom, I'm going to work now. You're at home, so your job is to do the chores, okay? Oh, and make sure that the house is absolutely spotless when I'm home. Got it?
Okay. Ian, I have been doing this since I came to this house and lived with you too. Of course, I'll do the housework for you. And Ian, could you do me a favor? I'm not feeling well these days, so could you buy me some medicine on your way home? It won't take much of your time, will it?
What? That's what you call a favor? It's nothing but a burden to me. I don't have time for this. Seriously, Mom, don't you realize that I'm always buried under a mountain of reports from work? It's like I'm constantly swimming in deadlines and responsibilities. And now you're asking me to do something as trivial as buy some medicine? Can't you see that I have a million other things on my plate? I mean, come on, even if you're not feeling okay, you're perfectly capable of getting up and going to the drugstore yourself, right? You're not disabled or anything, so why are you acting like you can't handle this simple task? It's frustrating, Mom, it really is. You know, I do so much for you, and sometimes it feels like you take it all for granted. It's like my efforts go unnoticed or unappreciated. It's enough to drive me crazy, you know? I just wish you could understand the pressure I'm under and cut me some slack once in a while.
What? Ian, I'm not forcing you to do much. I'm just asking whether you're free to buy me some medicine. And how dare you talk to me like that? It's rude of you to treat your mother that way. I gave birth to you, loved you, and nurtured you until now. And when you're all grown up and have your own life, you just forget all of them?
Oh, please, stop with your stupid touching dramas and just leave me alone. I'm so tired with all your complaining and whining. Do you think that just because you're my mom, you can make me do whatever you want? No way. And I have already told you, I have my work and the whole family to take care of. I'm exhausted right now, so could you please stop bothering me?
Ian, I understand that you have your own life, but as your mother, I still have needs and sometimes require help. It's not about making you do whatever I want, but about the support and care that family should provide for one another. We're supposed to be there for each other, especially in times of need, right?
Ugh, you're getting on my nerves. It's unbelievable. You're my mom, but it feels like you don't even make an effort to understand your own son. Ever since I was young, you constantly made me do things for you, and those things were like a never-ending nightmare. But now, things are different. I won't let you manipulate me like that anymore. I refuse to be your stupid, foolish son. I have my own life, my own job, and I work hard to earn money to support this entire household. You should acknowledge that and start adjusting your attitude towards me. If you do, we can all live in peace and happiness here. But if you continue with your behavior, well, I'll just have to do my own thing.
And what thing is that, Ian? What exactly are you implying? You're making a mountain out of a molehill, don't you know that?
What? Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just expressing my honest feelings towards you, you useless mother. If you can't understand how frustrated I am, then maybe you need a reality check. You constantly disturb me and make a fuss over nothing, and it's driving me insane.
Ian, I understand that you're upset, but resorting to insults and threats won't solve anything. We're family, and we should find ways to communicate and resolve our issues respectfully.
Respect? What did you ever do to earn my respect? You're always intruding in my life, nagging about trivial matters and acting like you're the center of the universe. Well, newsflash, Mom, you're not. If you don't stop this behavior and give me some space, I'll have no choice but to throw you out of here. Got it?
Ian, that's a hurtful and disrespectful thing to say. I may not be perfect, but I've always tried my best to take care of you and support you. Threatening to throw me out of my own home is completely uncalled for.
Maybe if you had respected my boundaries and understood that I have my own life to live, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'm tired of being suffocated by your constant demands and melodrama. It's time for you to realize that I'm an adult now, and I deserve to be treated as such.
Are you blaming things on your own mother? You've got the nerve. You don't have the right to say that about me. Are you losing your mind? You're insulting your mom.
What's so serious about that anyway? And I'm not being rude at all. It's you who always wants to make every bad thing my fault. But don't think that I'll be tricked into your cunning trap. I'm not that innocent boy. Now, if you pardon me, I've got some important work to do right now. Here's the money. Just go out there and buy your stuff on your own. I'm not gonna help you. Bye. Hey, Mom. Ian here. I can't believe it. Are you at the hospital right now? I'm really shocked. Really. What has happened to you? What a pity.
Well, it's okay, Ian. I fell down the stairs and hurt my back. But your sister brought me into the hospital now. Don't worry about that. It's not a really serious wound. I'll be just fine.
I'm really sorry I can't come to the hospital right away. I'm so up in my work, you know it, right? Every day I have hundreds of reports and contracts to do, so I'm really busy.
Well, it's okay, Ian. Accidents happen, and I understand that you have your own responsibilities and commitments. Don't worry about rushing to the hospital right away. Your sister took care of bringing me here, and the doctors assured me it's not a serious injury. I'll be just fine.
Thanks for understanding, Mom. It's nice of you to say so. Oh, and one more thing. Could you please sign for me the paper I sent you yesterday? I bought some stuff for you, and they said that I needed to take your signature. So, yeah, could you sign it? And please hurry, because the delivery staff tells me that if the paper isn't signed this evening, they'll cancel the delivery process immediately.
Oh, yes, of course. I signed it right when you gave it to me and said that it was really urgent. After signing it, I put it on the table in your room.
Oh, really? I didn't notice it at all. I came home so late last night, so I didn't even bother to look at the table. Well, anyway, thank you so much. You've done me a favor. I know you'll always help me when I'm in need.
Of course, Ian. You know I'm always there for you, right? Anyway, if you have time, could you take some time to come here and meet me? I miss you so much.
Well, I'm not really sure. I can't manage my time for almost anything recently. I have to work a lot to catch up with my daily KPI, but you already have my sister, so if you need help, just call her. But I think I'll try. Be sure to get well soon, okay, Mom?
Well, okay then. I'll try. But don't you think that it'll be better if you can come here and visit me? Just a little bit?
Ugh, Mom, you know how busy I am. I barely have time to breathe, let alone visit. Besides, I already told you that my sister can help you. Can't you just rely on her?
Ian, I understand that you're busy, but it would mean the world to me if you could take some time out of your schedule to visit me. Your sister has her own life too, and it's not fair for me to burden her all the time.
Mom, I get it. You want me to visit, but honestly, I'm swamped with work. My to-do list is a mile long, and my boss is breathing down my neck about these KPIs. It's like I'm on a never-ending treadmill, you know?
I hear you, Ian, and I know work can be demanding. But family is important too, and sometimes we need to prioritize spending time with our loved ones. Your sister has been helping, but it's not the same as having my son here with me.
I know, Mom, and I do care about you. It's just frustrating when it feels like there aren't enough hours in the day. I wish I could clone myself or have a time turner like in those Harry Potter books. Then I could be in two places at once.
Wouldn't that be something? But unfortunately, we don't have magical solutions. All I'm asking for is a little visit, even if it's just for a short while. It would mean so much to me, Ian.
Fine, Mom. I'll see what I can do. But I'm really not sure, so don't wait for me.
Okay, son.
Oh, hi, Mom. Do you feel much better now?
Yeah, well, fortunately, everything's getting much better now. And I think that I will be discharged from the hospital soon. I am really happy to wait for this day to come. Don't you think so, Ian?
Oh, of course, I wish the same. I'm thrilled to hear that you're on the road to recovery. It's been a challenging time, but seeing you get better brings me so much relief and joy. I can't wait for the day you're back home healthy and happy.
Really? You do? That's good to hear. I'm glad you think the same.
Yeah, and I'm really eager to tell you this important news as well. Well, you'll be really surprised to hear this.
Really, Ian? Why do you always have to be so mysterious? Just tell me what the news is already. Don't keep me in suspense. Is that good news? Is it a special present for me? Oh, I can't wait to see it.
What do you think I'll give you? No, you're totally wrong about everything. See this for yourself.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. Is this a will? Tell me, Ian. I don't understand. Did you make up a will for me? And you tricked me into signing it so you can grab all of my property, is that right? I can't believe my eyes anymore.
You'll have to believe me now. And yes, I lied to you. I lied about everything. Remember that present I told you about? I told you that if you didn't sign the paper right away, they wouldn't deliver the gift, right? Well, there's no present at all. I made that all up.
Wait, what have you just said? There's no gift? So I think it's just a waste of my time looking forward to receiving the present from you. I shouldn't have trusted you all these days. Who do you think I am? Your gold mine? You're being ridiculous, Ian.
Oh, come on, Hazel. Don't be so dramatic. It was just a little joke. Can't you take a joke? I mean, who needs a present anyway? Material possessions are overrated. It's the thought that counts, right? And the thought of tricking you into signing the will is absolutely amazing. Wow, I'm so intelligent, aren't I?
Are you kidding me, Ian? How could you be so heartless to me, your mother, like that? Thinking that my son has been lying to me all these times make me feel completely awful. How could you do that to your own blooded mother?
Oh, Mom, you're blowing this way out of proportion. Just remember that I'm still your blooded son, so I'm entitled to everything in this house. So I'm just taking what's mine. It's that simple, don't you understand? I'm not stealing your property. I'm taking my property. Got that?
Entitled to everything in this house? Is that how you see our relationship, Ian? As some sort of ownership where you can just take whatever you please? It's not about who owns what. It's about respect and consideration for each other. I never raised you to be so selfish and callous.
So now you realize my true face, right, Mom? I don't give a damn about it. All I'm thinking of is the huge property that I'm going to inherit from you. That would be a huge load of money, right?
Understanding and fair balance. I understand that you're my son, Ian, but that doesn't give you the right to disregard my feelings or treat me like some obstacle to overcome. How could you do that to me? You're such a terrible son. You can just show me a little bit of sympathy.
Oh, come on, Mom. Can't you see the bigger picture here? We're talking about a massive inheritance. Money, property, the whole shebang. It's like winning the lottery, only better, because it's all in the family.
Ian, it's not about the money. It's about the way you're treating me. I thought we had a bond, a connection as mother and son, but all you care about is material wealth. It's disheartening to see how you value possessions over relationships.
Of course. Why not? With all that money and property, I could live a life of luxury alone. I could finally have everything you've ever dreamed of. Fancy vacations, expensive cars, designer clothes, the works. Doesn't that sound appealing?
Ian, money can't buy happiness. It might provide temporary pleasures, but true fulfillment comes from meaningful connections and treating others with respect. I can't believe you're so fixated on material possessions that you're willing to disregard our relationship.
Oh, lighten up, Mom. You're being so melodramatic. Why can't I take back the money that is sooner or later mine? And what do you need these properties for anyway? You're too old and weak now. It's almost time you kicked the bucket, don't you think? You can't even walk the steps, see? That's why I decided to speed up the process and take what has to be mine. In this family, it's clear that you only care about my sister. I don't understand what she did to you, but it's obviously not fair to me at all. Well, I know you will eventually give all of your assets to her one day, so I would have to do it first to protect my own well-being. All of these things, the house, the garden, all of them will soon become mine.
Ian, it's not about fairness or what you think you're entitled to. It's about respect and compassion. You're talking about wishing for my demise just so you can get your hands on the assets. That's beyond cruel and heartless.
Well, Mom, it's not like you're gonna need those properties anyway. I mean, you're getting up there in age, and let's face it, you're not as spry as you used to be. Walking up the stairs is a challenge for you these days. It's about time someone took charge and made better use of those assets.
How dare you speak to me like that, Ian? My age or physical condition doesn't give you the right to treat me with such disrespect. And it's certainly not an excuse for you to expedite my departure from this world. Your lack of empathy is truly disturbing.
You know what's even more disturbing, Mom? The fact that you clearly favor my sister over me. I don't understand what she did to earn your affection, but it's blatantly unfair. And mark my words, one day, you'll just hand over everything to her, leaving me with nothing.
Ian, this isn't about favoritism. It's about your attitude and the way you're behaving right now. I can't believe you're willing to stoop so low and use these manipulative tactics to try and secure your own well-being. Family should be about love and support, not greed and deceit.
Well, if you're not going to consider my needs and protect my future, then I have to take matters into my own hands. It's clear that you won't do what's right, so I'll have to do it for myself. And when that day comes, all of these things, the house, the garden, will be mine. And you'll have no say in the matter.
Ian, you're completely missing the point. This isn't about possessions or who gets what. It's about the relationship between a mother and her son. It's about trust, love, and understanding. Your obsession with material wealth is clouding your judgment and damaging our bond.
Oh, spare me the sentimental lecture, Mom. Relationships won't pay the bills or secure my future. Money talks, and I intend to have a comfortable life. If you can't see that, then maybe it's time for me to distance myself from your toxic influence.
It breaks my heart to hear you speak this way, Ian. I never thought I would see the day when my own son would prioritize money over family. Your lack of empathy and disregard for our bond is deeply disappointing. I don't understand why you could grow ungrateful like this.
Well, Mom, maybe it's time for you to reevaluate your priorities too. Maybe then you'll understand why I'm so driven to secure my own future. Until then, I'll do what I must to protect myself. And when the time comes, I won't hesitate to claim what's rightfully mine. And you know what? It's because of you that I had to resort to this. If you had even shown me some respect, I would not have been treating you this way.
I can't believe you could be this wicked and nonchalant. Even though I was at the hospital, suffering from the killing pain in the back, you chose the time when I was the weakest to trick me. Your mother? That's unacceptable. If you could be that harsh, then I'll spill the beans to you. This will is not valid.
What? What do you even mean? I don't understand.
Oh, no, Ian. I'm not joking at all. It seems like you underestimated me once again. You thought you could outsmart me with your fake will, but little did you know that I had already taken the necessary steps to protect myself and my assets. Yes, that's right. I had the foresight to write a will long ago, anticipating the day when my health would deteriorate. I guess your plan to claim what's rightfully yours just went up in smoke, didn't it? And don't even think about challenging the validity of my will. It has been confirmed and authorized by the proper authorities, so your fake will hold no power whatsoever.
No, this can't be happening. You can't just take control of everything. It's impossible for you to do this. But who will you give the property to anyway? It's me, isn't it?
Oh, Ian, always the optimist, aren't you? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but it seems like the reality has caught up with you. But I'm really afraid to tell you that I gave all of my assets to your sister. She's the one who takes care of me the most, even when I was at my worst. At that time, you always seemed to be too busy with your work, so I think maybe you should just stick to them all your life. At least it can bring you money, while I can't.
No, this can't be happening.
Well, Ian, you see, while you were busy scheming and plotting, I took the necessary legal steps to protect myself and my assets. It's called being responsible and thinking ahead, something you clearly didn't consider. So yes, it is possible for me to do this, and I have done it. You're one step too late, Ian. Your little plan has crumbled to pieces, and there's nothing you can do about it.
This can't be the end. There has to be something I can do. You can't just shut me out like this.
Oh, poor Ian. Still clinging to hope, aren't you? Well, I hate to break it to you, but you've run out of options. You should have thought about the consequences before you decided to manipulate and deceive. Now you're facing the repercussions of your actions. It's a harsh lesson, but one you needed to learn. And I have decided that it's time you move out of this house and mind your own living. Well, it's time for you to face the reality that you've created for yourself. And trust me, it's not a pretty one.
Wait, what? Are you throwing me out?
Of course, it's crystal clear that you don't deserve to live here and be my son anymore. I cut ties with you from now on. Get out!
Please, Mom, there must be some way to resolve this. I never wanted it to come to this. Can't we find a compromise?
A compromise? You say? Well, isn't that convenient? Now that your plan has failed, you suddenly want to find a compromise. But let me ask you, Ian, where was this willingness to compromise when you were scheming and planning behind my back? It seems like your desire for compromise only surfaces when it benefits you. No, Ian, there is no compromise to be found here. You made your bed, and now you have to lie in it. Maybe next time you'll think twice before trying to deceive your own mother.
Mom, please, listen to me. I know I made some terrible choices and said hurtful things, but deep down, all I want is for us to repair our relationship. I know my fault now, and I'm sorry for everything. I never intended it to reach this point of animosity. Can't we set aside our differences and find a way to move forward?
Ian, it's hard for me to trust your words after everything that has transpired. Your actions have caused immense pain and damaged our bond. It's not just about finding a compromise now that your plan to manipulate me has failed. It's about genuine remorse and a commitment to change.
I understand, Mom. And I truly am remorseful. I never wanted to cause you pain or manipulate you. I got caught up in my own desires and lost sight of with what truly matters. The love and connection we share as a family. I'm begging you. Could you just please give me a chance to make amends?
No, I've given you hundreds of chances to do it, but you just refuse to listen to me. You're still stubborn and egocentric as I have thought. And I know that you'll never change, so in your dreams.
No, I'm different now. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, Mom. I'll work on myself to become a better son. I will try. I'll make you see my effort. So could you please forgive me? I know you still love me, right? Just remember how close we used to be. You couldn't leave your son like this. Whatever you say, I'm still your only son.
No, you're not my son anymore. Get lost and don't make me see your callous face. It's disgusting. Don't even hope that I'll give anything to you. It's over now. You're nothing to me, so pack your things and get out of my house. After that, Ian kept trying to call me multiple times, begging for my forgiveness. But I had already blocked his number, so his attempts were in vain. As a result, Ian had no choice but to pack up his belongings and leave my house. With no place to call home and no well-paying job, he ended up finding a less than ideal living situation in a dingy slum. I heard through the grapevine that he even had to take up a part-time gig as a cashier at a convenience store just to make ends meet. As for me, with the love and support of my daughter, things started looking up. Each day, my situation improved, and I could finally return home and embrace a happier life. It's certainly heartbreaking to have to leave my own son behind, but it was necessary to teach him a lesson and make him realize the gravity of his actions.
Are you fine? Not scared or panicked?
I'm fine. Something like that isn't enough to ruffle my feathers. I was able to ditch that guy no problem. But that does beg the question. Who was it that was following us?
When we split up to lose him, it looked like he went after you, Judy. What amazes me more than anything is that you realized that he was following us. I would have never noticed that someone was behind us.
Huh. I have eyes in the back of my head. It's going to take more than sulking in the shadows to be able to get to me.
Yeah, I suppose so. Your self-confidence is one of the things that I love about you. But is there any reason that someone would want to follow you? Did you piss off any patients or their family members?
Well, nothing comes to mind off the top of my head. I'm highly respected by my colleagues, and I'm well loved by all patients I work with.
Again, that's not really something that you say about yourself, but that seems to be true whenever I go pick you up.
True. We were being followed, but I didn't feel any animosity from his gaze, and there was no aggression in his stance.
You truly are something else, aren't you?
It was so exciting. That was the first time in my life I've ever been followed. I felt like Jason Bourne.
I admit that there was a bit of a thrill in it, but I wish you would understand that it could have been dangerous. I know I may be overthinking things, but you know how much I worry about you. For the foreseeable future, I will be picking you up by car. This isn't up for debate.
Come on, I'll be fine. I can defend myself.
In a straight fight, I know there's no way you could lose. But if they attacked you from behind with a weapon, then it would be game over. For my own peace of mind, please wait for me to pick you up by car, okay?
All right. You were too sweet on me.
I can't believe this is happening right before our wedding. I hope this doesn't jinx anything or cause any other problems.
That's right. Let's go to your hometown so I can introduce myself to your father.
Yeah, my dad is, to put it nicely, a hard-headed, proud blue blood that puts on airs in front of everyone he meets.
Nicely? Coming from you, that's quite the burn. It sounds like a great challenge, but I doubt there's a family that wouldn't want me in their family.
Again, where you get your self-confidence puts me in awe. But you're right, the rest of my family is already dying to meet you. My father is always going on about upholding the family name and how we should be careful about what kind of people we interact with. It was always embarrassing to hear him go on tirades about it. I just wanted to be a normal kid and enjoy what everyone else was doing. Can you believe that he called us modern-day aristocrats?
Wow, that story is cringe.
I know, right? I honestly thought about not going to visit him because he can be so pretentious and hard to deal with. Somehow he sniffed out who I was dating and demanded that he see you face to face. A sixth sense or some stupid thing like that, he said.
Well, in most cultures, it would be unthinkable not to introduce yourself to the family, especially when we're about to get married. So I'm cool with it. Don't worry too much. You know me. I'll make it work out, and it'll be fine.
I know you can get through any situation. I just don't want the experience to leave a bad flavor in your mouth. It's still not too late to pretend we never got his summons and leave him to stew on his high horse.
No, we gotta do what we gotta do. I want to do things right. It doesn't matter who the other person is, but we should get to know each other's families. Because marriage is not just the pairing of two people, but two whole families.
You're straight a shooter as they come. And of course, you're right again. I suppose I should just sit back and watch the sparks fly as the two most stubborn people I know meet for the first time. Soda and popcorn recorded, uploaded, and went viral.
I'll be fine. I'm an adult, and I can control myself. Let's just hurry up and meet up at home. You worry too much. Do you want that guy to pick up on my trail again?
Oh, geez, no. Yeah, let's go home. Judy, where are you now? Are you okay? Are you hurt?
I'm fine. I just went outside for a little bit to cool my jets and clear my mind. Wow, that went far worse than I could have ever imagined. Trying to pour a pot of hot coffee on me was something that even surprised me.
Thank God your reflexes are so fast. It's like watching a Jedi in action. You started moving at the same time he began his stupidity. It was like you knew it was coming.
It's not that big of a deal. I didn't see him since he was in my blind spot, but I felt that something was off. That only happens right before someone tries to hurt you. I guess that only makes me seem more like a Jedi, right?
Yes! That or Spider-Man.
That's me. By the way, where are you?
I left right after you to follow, but can't see you anywhere.
Oh, I'm at a park in front of the forest, sitting on a bench. Come and get me? I'm a bit parched, so can you bring me something to drink on your way?
Wait, Willow Park? That's more than a mile away. It's been less than 5 minutes. It's not even a straight line from here.
It is if you go through some yards and gardens.
Did you really straight shoot it through a mile of residential units?
Parkour.
My God, you're amazing.
Whatever. Hurry up and pick me up.
Yeah, sorry. I'll grab my keys and pick you up.
Judy, this is Albert's father, Ryan.
Mind telling me how you got my WhatsApp ID?
That's not important right now, but I know that I can do a lot more than that. From here on out, I will not allow you onto my property a second time. Of course, that includes ever seeing or contacting my son Albert again.
Really? You got a valid reason to outcast me?
When you come from a name as prestigious as ours, it would be unthinkable to take an uneducated little girl like yourself into our great family. You never even graduated from a university. There is no way I could let my grandchildren be raised by someone who could barely get a GED.
No worries there, pal. I have no intention of ever being in the same room as you ever again. However, I will marry Albert, as promised, with or without your blessing.
Never. Who would be foolish enough to ever marry you? Your family is poor as dirt. How could you imagine standing eye to eye with a family of our caliber? How dare you think you could pollute my bloodline with your filthy peasant DNA?
Ooh, them be fighting words, old man. But I couldn't care less about how much you badmouth my family. It's true that my family was not well loved by any means, but we were happy and had all our needs met by parents who loved us. Probably because we didn't have the same idiotic family members spouting off about our special status as a noble family.
To be talked to in such a way by the proletariat is insulting to the greatest degree.
Boo-hoo. Why don't you go and wind up your country club friends and have them stroke your ego until you feel better? Because an inner-city girl hurt your fragile feelings. Aww. On the other hand, you talk about being from such a great family. But do you walk the walk? In what way are you more successful than a commoner like me?
I graduated from an Ivy League school and was immediately hired by a Fortune 500 company. With my achievements, I became the youngest vice president in the company's history. How about that? Does a peon like you have a resume like that?
Oh, wow. Truly a credit to your name. With a history like that, you can add trying to pour hot coffee over your son's fiancé and failing. Man, it's amazing what life throws at you and to see how you react to it.
You should be grateful it was just a cup of coffee. I can't stand that not only are you trying to marry out of your class, but you have the gall to talk to me in such a disrespectful tone.
I'm not asking you to stand for anything. Albert and I are getting married, so you can just leave me alone.
I simply will not allow my son to marry a girl who has never graduated university.
Oh, so you're a measure of nobility. Is it proportional to a person's academic achievements? You do understand how dumb and stuck up that sounds when you say it out loud, don't you?
Shut your filthy mouth. Don't think you can change your station in life by trying to marry up into our family. Every single person in my family has graduated from university just to show you how much we value education. If you push me any further, I will not be held responsible for what happens to you.
Look, I really don't care what you try to do or why you think threatening me is going to scare me off. That only works on your subordinates at work. And on the subject of universities, you do know that I graduated, right?
Graduating at 19 years old is what you've said. That is not university. Little girl, that is called community college. You do understand the difference, don't you? One selects for society's future leaders, and the other provides basic courses so the masses don't embarrass themselves in public. You're simply a bad match for my son who's on the fast track for the good life and will bring so much honor to our family.
And find a girl worth fighting for.
Yes? What are you talking about? The weddings are off as far as I'm concerned, so get an education if you want to have a chance of marrying up for your spotty heritage.
I skipped a few grades and finished med school at 19.
Like I'd believe that.
At 19, I graduated med school and then got a master's on the side, just to kill some extra time.
A master's at 19? Impossible. You should learn how to lie better. It would take superior genius to even come close to achieving that. A real lie needs to have a modicum of truth in it, or at least be somewhat believable. Playing along with your fantasy world for a little bit, why didn't you tell me this sooner? That might have bought you some time.
When I did try to tell you, you decided to preempt me with aerial coffee entertainment, followed by kicking me out of the house.
I don't have time for gossip and fake news. So you want to add to your whopper and tell me that you're a doctor at some clinic?
Almost. I'm the head of the pediatric department at the university hospital.
You can drop the facade. It's not funny anymore, and I'm just sad now. I've already looked into your past to have your old past in front of me now. Least of all, I know you're not a doctor, so you can come clean with me.
Oh, it's good to see a Christian keep his part of the bargain.
How do you know Christian?
It's fine and dandy to use private eyes to get info on a person, but you really should use people who you know are good at their jobs. It was like being tailed by a blind elephant over the savannah. It was cute. You can try to hide, but whenever I turned around, there he was. Poor effort. After I got tired of that game, I got behind him and he almost soiled himself when I grabbed him by the collar. I then persuaded him to tell me who his employer was.
Impossible. He's a 30-year veteran with us and served in a recon unit in his youth. I've been relying on him for years, and he's never made a mistake.
You gotta be kidding. It was like playing peekaboo with an infant with no sense of space. Anyhow, I had him pass on false information to you in order to find out what kind of person you really are. I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, despite Albert's unflattering portrayal of you. So I told Christian to hide the fact that I'm a doctor.
Albert and Christian both?
Can you blame him? With your temperament and outlook? I've also taken the liberty to release our chat logs and the dirt I've dug up on you and your investors.
What? Why would you do something so unnecessary?
Well, according to your words, it would be unacceptable to allow dirty blood to pollute the system, right? The same goes for business. One bad apple can cause the whole batch to go bad. Isn't that how the saying goes?
You're saying I'm the problem? Impossible! I've done so much for the company. They wouldn't do anything to me, would they?
Dunno. Tell that to the person who's going to be reviewing your case and deciding your fate. Telling me of your triumphs and tribulations is just a bother.
Why would anyone at my company trust you? How could you even get anyone on the board's attention?
I'm a very famous and popular doctor in higher circles, so I do have acquaintances in almost every industry. In fact, I've known about you for a while. I've not even told Albert about this part of me. I'm about to teach you how to really get dirt on people.
Haven't you had enough fun at my expense? How long must I put up with your blasphemy? Do you have any idea who you're dealing with? Have you any clue what I will do to you if you make me your enemy?
Fully. Because I have no fear of some unemployed old man who got fired from his job for being a toxic lowlife.
Fired? Who's been fired? Are you talking about me?
Blackmail 101. Your termination is one of my demands for not releasing your dirty laundry to the world and tainting your company's good name. Any company would throw a useless president under the bus in order to maintain their quality in the public eye.
That'd be a breach of contract on their part. How devious are you? Everything you're doing is illegal.
Illegal, you say? I guess you would be an expert on what's illegal, wouldn't you? You know better than anyone that you should be terminated at the company.
It can't be.
As I said before, I've thoroughly investigated you. I wanted to know what I would be marrying into, just in case it could negatively affect me in some way. Albert is an angel and doesn't have a bad bone in his body. That comes from his mother's side. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about his paternal side. Be honest here. There is something you need to apologize to your company about, isn't there?
That's unprovable, isn't it? How could you know? You're lying. You're just trying to entrap me.
Really? Maybe I should talk to your wife first. I bet it would be hard to admit that to her, so I'll tell her in your stead.
Stop. Fine. You win. My God, what are you? I may have temporarily transferred company funds to partake in the services of an escort enterprise.
You paid for a whore using the company's money? That'll get you fired from any job.
Wait, I had a good reason. I truly did.
Yes. You truly loved the girl and wanted to help her out of a bad situation. Yeah. You fell for the hooker with a giant heart of gold. But you, sir, are now Richard Gere. You do understand that admitting that you love another woman isn't going to be taken well by your family, right? And I know how serious about her you were by the amount of cash you dumped into her scheme.
She said she would leave her boyfriend for me. She just needed money to free herself. I could afford it, but I couldn't withdraw an amount that large without drawing suspicion. So I planned to pay it back to the company little by little. See? It wasn't stolen. I just borrowed the company's money for a short time. In fact, I've already returned it in full.
I know that as well. You aren't the type of person to stick your hand in the cookie jar without some way to separate yourself from any blame or wrong. While the books balance out at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that a bigot also tried his hand at a misappropriation of funds. You know what that means, right?
Why are you so intent on messing up my life? You're going past the line of threats, all the way to plain cruel.
I had no intention to go so far. But once I had you on the ropes, the adrenaline began to flow, and I was taught to always go in for the kill.
You witch! Where are you? Get back here right now!
Found by me. What do you intend to do, little old man?
I will make you regret crossing me. Get back here so I can teach you a lesson you'll never forget.
Lines fitting for a bargain bin gangster before the main character puts him in his place. Hardly the words meant for a beautiful young, strong-headed woman like myself. Unlike a crotchy old hidebound materialistic fogey. Whoa! I feel like the protagonist in a superhero movie. I feel a little sorry for you. But wait a tick. I'll be with you in 2 shakes.
Well, we'll see if that mouth can spout the same poison after I'm done with you.
You've had enough yet? Want to go another round? I don't think the results will change, but the offer still stands.
What are you? How are you so fast and strong? I'm as fit as a 30-year-old and was an amateur boxer through school.
My dad was a drill sergeant and was a part-time UFC fighter to make ends meet. Since we could stand, he trained us all in self-defense and self-reliance.
A UFC fighter?
He pushed his reflexes, hand-eye coordination, and martial arts skills to the absolute limits a human body can handle. That discipline and focus he installed in me ended up helping in school as well. But I did surpass him in middle school and haven't lost to him since. He holds me as his greatest success and still makes me come weekly to spar with him. So, as you can see, I'm not only a genius in academics, but a genius with my fists and feet as well. I only became a doctor because it helps others, pays well, and is relatively easy for me.
Hubris much?
It's only hubris when you lose. Until then, it's cold confidence. So now you know who I am. I'm a totally different class from you. You still want to cross me?
Class? I was born into the most prestigious family in the state. What do you know of class?
Wow, you still have a goal to speak of class. Then get ready for spring 1917, comrade. Albert's father, Ryan, was found unconscious on his front lawn after that huge disagreement. I mean, talk about a dramatic scene, right? It was like something out of a soap opera. Anyway, turns out that it wasn't the only thing going on with old Ryan. There was some serious evidence of embezzlement piling up against him too. So you can guess what happened next. His company wasted no time in giving him the boot. Yup, he was quickly and quietly terminated, leaving him high and dry. Now, as if that wasn't enough, all of this was like the final straw for his long-suffering wife. Can you blame her though? I mean, the guy was not only unconscious on the front lawn, but he was also cheating on her. That's a recipe for disaster right there. So she did what any self-respecting woman would do in that situation. She filed for an immediate divorce. And boy, did she not hold back. She went for the big guns and claimed a huge alimony payment. Good for her, I say. Gotta secure that bag. But wait, it gets even juicier. The rest of Ryan's family, you know, his brothers, sisters, cousins and whatnot, they were absolutely disgusted by Ryan's actions. I mean, who wouldn't be? So they decided to cut him off completely. Can you imagine? They removed him from the family tree like he never existed. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Meanwhile, here I am, welcomed into the family with open arms. I'm like the golden child, the prodigy daughter-in-law. They love me, and I love them right back. Now let's talk about Ryan's current situation. It's a really sad story, I tell you. He's stuck living in this tiny one-bedroom apartment, working as a night manager just to make ends meet. I mean, talk about a fall from grace. He used to be all high and mighty, preaching about the importance of bloodlines and stuff. And now look at him, scrubbing floors and cleaning up other people's messes. Life has a funny way of teaching lessons, doesn't it? But hey, enough about Ryan. Let's focus on the bright side of things. After all that drama and chaos, Albert and I found each other. We got married and guess what? We welcomed our first child into the world just a year later. It's like a fairy tale ending, you know? both our families have come around and embraced us with open arms. They've put all that dirty business caused by that bigoted old man behind them. It's all about love and support now. And let me tell you, Albert, he is such a sweetheart. He always praises me, saying that with me, our family has nothing to worry about. And you know what? It makes me feel so good. Because he's absolutely right. We've built a strong foundation of love and trust, and nothing can shake us. So yeah, life has its ups and downs, but as long as we have each other, we're unstoppable.